Right, hello. Today we're going to try get the bonnet of my Vectra Facelift open because the bonnet release is not working. Now I've actually had this repaired very recently, so there's more than one way of approaching it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just look at the problem and then see if we can't resolve it as simply as possible. So there might be slack with the cable, which is preventing the bonnet release working. So we're going to try see if we can pull some slack from inside the car first. Okay, so a little look at the problem, how it stands. So basically, bonnet release, it's actually springing forward, but there's no tension in it. So what I'm going to try to do is remove the handle first and see if we can pull up any slack from tension here as a stage one approach to this job. Now, prior to taking the handle off, I've just put a torch on this and you can actually see on the cable itself, see that? Quite a bit of slack. So when I'm pulling out full tension, a little zigzag in there. Now the cable could have become detached, so I'm just pulling up slack here. So what I want to do is try pull up as much as that slack as I can. So I might have to take the handle off and then pull on it, a bit like starting a lawnmower, but not as hard, and see where we get with that. And then I'm going to explain how I previously got the bonnet open when the cable had actually completely detached. But I'm going to just try this fix first. Okay, so again, just to try a look at this job, I'll get the camera centered. Yeah, what we got. You can see how the cable sits in there. So I'm just going to try to pull that out. I've already tried to pull it out by hand. You can see I've nearly got it out, but I'm just going to stick some long nose pliers on it and try to remove it. So I'm just going to pause the video while I do that. So as you can see, I've removed it quite easily. Now, I have to put the camera down while I pull on that, but essentially you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and pull up the slack by pulling on this. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so that successfully released the bonnet. That was unusual. The first time I had this problem, it was nowhere near as simple as that. So what I want to do next is show you the mechanism, and then I'm going to demonstrate how I fixed it when that solution of pulling the cable wouldn't work. Okay, so just going to get the bonnet open and show you the mechanism. Okay, so when I was originally researching this problem, what I found was I didn't know what the mechanism looked like to go ahead and fix it. So here we have a spring. We've got one end latched into here, so it's pushing in this direction. Here's the other end of the spring, which is actually the lock mechanism. And you can see the cable should pull the spring in that direction, in this direction here, and allow us to open the bonnet. So let me see if I can just turn on the light a bit, see if we can get a bit more depth on where the mechanism is down in this section. Now it's not easy to make out in the video, but down there is the mechanism itself. So it just attaches to one end of that spring, and here is the cable. It runs all the way around the body of the car and through that section down into the footwell. Okay, so I need to work out some way of taking up the slack. Now that's what the video's for really. This is for when that taking up the slack doesn't work. So what I want to explain is how originally I moved this in that direction to open the car. Now I actually took it to a local garage. In fact, I had the AA up first, who spent an hour trying to fix this, and I did a lot of research on this, and the way to open it manually using a screwdriver is to go in through the bottom grille. Now you might read online that some people say, oh, you've got to smash the grille off, and they might even start referring to this. Now this is a facelift model of the Vectra, so might not necessarily be the same for all Vectras, but behind here is a plastic skirt, thick plastic skirt. You can smash this all day and then you have to go through the skirt to do this, so you do a lot of damage. To replace one of these, 50-60 quid off eBay. Now the bottom one is a lot cheaper. I think it was about 20 quid when I looked. So I was prepared to smash this off, but I took it to a local garage who put it on the ramps, and he had his good go for about 3/4 of an hour. And the research what I read basically says you push this grill out with enough force, then you put your arm up and you press on that mechanism there up through the bodywork, so it's getting the right screwdriver. So I'm not going to do it now, I just want to explain it to you because I don't want to damage my car again because I got the bonnet open. But in the garage, the mechanic had this on the ramps. He got underneath, there is like a splash skirt underneath. He removed 4 lugs I was able to move that a bit. Now unfortunately the water skirt is actually part of the bumper, the lower bumper, so you'd have to remove the entire bumper to get rid of the skirt completely. So you just got to kind of work with the area that you've got. Now beyond this, all the way around on the inside are 20 clips. Now he started trying to remove the clips from the bottom as I was pushing against this. Now what actually happened was the top end pushed in, and I can feel it's a bit loose. Although he was trying to undo at the bottom, I was pushing on this and it went at the top. And basically we levered this open, left all the bottom clips in, most of the side clips, and pushed open like a little bit of a drawbridge. And then it was easy because he had it on ramps. He put his arm up inside and pushed on that mechanism from the other side, from the inside of the bodywork. Takes a bit of force, it's a bit of a tough spring. But there you go, got it moving, and he's able to do that, but that's taking a few pounds of force to move that. So that's it, essentially. You might be able to do it from your driveway. So that would be just putting your arm up inside the bodywork and pushing against that spring with a screwdriver. It might be the fact that you might have to completely knock this out or chop it out, but it is quite cheap stuff, and like I say, 20 quid on eBay to replace it. Hopefully you just be able to push it open, because I can feel it moving now, and get your arm up inside and push that spring. Now I hope this helps somebody, because I spent hours researching this, and it was helpful for the mechanic to know exactly how the mechanism works, because all cars are different. You might be a good mechanic, but unless you've got a Vectra, it's difficult. Now I was lucky at the garage that took it to, the guy had a Vectra, but I still needed to tell him that you've got to go in through that grill and push that spring. So hopefully this bit of info is helpful for somebody out there. Okay, found a bit of the video. You might see earlier on that I had quite a lot of slack in there, and you can see it's pretty much been taken out. There's a little kink in there that's useful for reseating the end of the cable, so I'm just going to show you. There's the action. And what I'm going to do, unfortunately I'm not working on my own, so I can't show it in action, but I'm just going to put something here to show you the tension under it, and then look at the bonnet. So my handy tensioning device to put the handle under tension. Now, as you can see, there's no spring in a hole that's been held back. I've managed to reseat this, although the thread was pretty knackered on it, so I might have to revisit this again at some point and replace this. But it's highly rusted now. It's reseated into the bottom, so hopefully we shouldn't get any slack on this again. There you go, it's reseated in there. But yeah, the thread on that seems to be a bit stripped out, so that could have been the cause of the original problem. Slacking up over time, maybe when it was manufactured it was never put in properly. It's led to tension creeping into the cable, which eventually led to it springing off the edge of the spring, the cable tension down there, and led to the original problem. Okay, final section of the video, everything reassembled. This plastic thing goes in eventually, takes a bit of bloody wiggling around as you would expect. Okay, so that's right, bonnet is still open. Just latch it back down. There you go. And finally,